Milestone 1, plant, water, harvest. Milestone 2, plant, water, harvest. Milestone 3, plant, water, harvest. Milestone 4, milestone 5, milestone 6, milestone 7, milestone 8. Ooh, a change. Plant, water the new water tank, and then harvest. Milestone 9, plant, water, harvest. You get the idea. Fortunately, I don't think it's a skill issue on the devs' part. They are very talented. I think it's a misguided idea about grind and the reward that comes from it. It's true that when you're working on something for a very long time and you get a reward, it feels satisfying. But if the reward you get doesn't change anything and it's still exactly the same, then you might need to think of a few new ideas instead. In case this wasn't very obvious, yes, I was having a lot of fun at the start of the game, but very quickly a lot of game design issues blocked me from having more and more fun with most of the systems, which led to me wanting to reach the final milestone to see how it changes. What's the difference when you unlock everything? And I can say that I'm not impressed, but I'm rather disappointed. First thing you might want to know is the reason I wanted to play this game in general is because I saw the automation update. Now, I did not expect a satisfactory level update where you can connect all the machines and have crazy factories with insane logistical stuff. I expected the very core basics of harvest, process, and replant. That's the only thing I was expecting. But disappointingly, the progression actually makes it harder for you to play and actually makes it worse for the quality of life. So listen, the water pump is an example I'm going to use, the water in general. The water pump is something that you unlock as the very last milestone in the game currently, milestone 14. The same way you unlock the solar panel. It's kind of when you get your cheat codes and the game doesn't care about power, like power's out the window, nobody cares about like realism, you don't need to fuel anything anymore. Like the solar panel can magically store all of its power through the day and magically power you through the night. Even if you build it at night, it doesn't really matter. The problem is the water pump is something that you should get right when you unlock the drone towers, the water drones, because all you do, like I said as a joke at the intro, is you stand near the water tank and you're holding left click. So it turns the game for what you did up to now, which is running around the field and watering everything, into just standing still for like 20 seconds, 15 seconds, just filling up the tank once every few days. That's it. It doesn't improve the gameplay. There is nothing interesting about it. It's very boring and it's really not enjoyable. So what you end up doing is from milestone 0 to milestone 8, you're running around the fields holding your right click if you have the skill, or left click if you don't have the skill for it, and watering the crops. And then once you get to 8, then you go near the water tank and then you hold it. That's the summary of basically what you're doing throughout all the milestones. And at 14, you don't need to care about watering anything anymore. Example number 2 I'm going to be using is the automation, the automators. Now, the automators in concept sound very cool and very interesting. But there's a few problems, a few things that are blocking it. The example I'm going to be using is my seed extractor automation circle, whatever you call this thing. There are seed extractors for every type of regular seeds, right? There's 16 types of variants, by the way, because there's 8 plants and 2 of each type. So if you really wanted a whole operation, you needed exactly 16 of those seed extractors, each one working on a singular recipe, because everyone got the regular version and then the mutated version, which gives you more seeds. But this one, the lower tier automators, which I can use the higher tier one, just showing you this, can hold up to 1,000 weight, which is really not a lot once you get like over 1k seeds or 1k resources. The seed doesn't really matter because they don't have any weight to them. But the plants themselves, they can very easily overwhelm this machine, especially when you're going to introduce 16 of those. Then the jump is going to be to 3,000 units of weight instead of 1,000. So I don't know what they were thinking here, but what I would rather do, which makes it way easier, is just click on this button. This simply makes it easier. So what I would do, to make my life easier, is have seed extractors for every single one of the recipes, right? Don't have any automators, just having them all in a line, and once a day just pressing whatever I need. And that's it. Not even once a day, because you don't need them all the time. It's that simple, And you don't need to worry about the automators, because the automators are going to require a specific amount of seeds. You need to worry about what seeds you're putting into it, because let's say you take 1k polyberries from the field over there, right? You put some of them inside, but how much do you put inside, right? So you need to put a rough estimate of how much you're going to need for the next planting, and the rest of it you're going to keep to use for the milestones, or to use for whatever resources you need, like oils or some shit like that, right? So you need to do the math yourself. But if I didn't want to do that, I simply come here and I can click on this button and X, and that's it. It's going to create everything, and I don't have to put it in here. I can throw it wherever I want. I can put a chest right near the field, and then I can click it from here. It doesn't have to connect. I don't have to donate a part of my materials every single time I harvest. You also can decide where your resources go. Let's say I wanted to use 2/3 for the seeds and 1/3 just keep it for myself. So if I had to split this and take another split and make it go into a chest, it wouldn't work. Everything would just go to the seed extractors and nothing will go to the chest. I already tried this. So all you have to do is, again, you have to donate a specific amount of materials and then keep whatever you want to keep. And it's more work rather than clicking on the button and that's it. Now, there are also a few things that I think are missing in the game in general, and I think they should be added earlier than, I don't know, milestone 15 or 16 or whatever we're gonna get next. The current system I have is pretty stupid, but it works. I have a pipe going all the way from my iron farm all the way back into my base, and then going into a chest right here. Then the moment it gets into this chest, I can actually use it. Technically, you can drive around in the car version while you're also carrying a cart behind you, but there's a very nice glitch that if you drive very fast, your cart is going to get damaged by the loading screen, because the microsecond that the world is loading the next chunk, something counts as a wall. So the carts just hit a random wall, like an invisible wall, for half a second, and it takes like a 20% damage, and then you move on. It is really not fun having to repair the cars all the time when you start to build roads and go faster. So the pipes work easier, better. I think you need better transportation in general. And the other thing I think I would like to see is building. Better building. Currently, the building we have in the game is extremely restrictive, and it doesn't make you want to build anything. You just put a roof on your resources, on your machines, so you get the bonus. But you don't do that because you want to build. I had a very big dream of what I wanted to build, but the moment I started interacting with the building system, you notice that you can't go above a certain height. You need to have supporting beams every 2 seconds, especially if you want to make more than one floor. So I just didn't want to do it, and I kind of gave up and made a very basic shack. This does not mean that I hated everything about the game. I really had a ton of fun with the road system. Just building shortcuts over river, over mountain, through forest, just making your routes into other places along the map 10 times easier using roads. It is so much fun and it feels very worth it. The other thing I really enjoy in the game is the crops mechanic, that if you combo certain mounds and seeds, or crops actually, then you get specific variants. Like I said, the regular version, you can get high yield and you can get mutated. So I really enjoyed that, and I had a ton of fun combining them and figuring out what to plant after what. It's a very fun mechanic. I really enjoy that. Currently, the way I think about the game is lost potential. I really think that there's way more things the game could have done to make it easier, and it's actually not by adding more things, but actually by cutting more things. Because I wanted to spend many hours in the game, but every system just blocks you and makes everything 10 times harder. So I don't want to build a giant base. I don't want to build like cool farms. I don't want to build anything. I just want to see what else I can unlock through the milestone to maybe make my life easier, and then build a cool farm. But so far, everything there is in the game, milestone 14, nothing really makes me want to do that. Like I mentioned throughout the entire video, there's a lot of blocking game design that makes you not want to do all those things. So I think just cut those things a little bit, and I think player would sink hundreds of hours and build cool things if you just change those two things, transportation and building. I think those are the biggest blocks for the game. And I guess just a small tip at the very end here, just don't think about what you're planting. Plant anything. As long as you're comboing something, you're gonna need it for a milestone at some point. So just plant everything you want, whatever you have at hand, it's gonna be used. Don't try to overthink about like min-maxing and comboing things, because you don't need that. Unless you like really want to try hard, you're gonna reach there anyway. That's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, thank you. If you didn't, let me know why. So can you improve? Keep it safe and I'll see you next one. Bye bye.